Have you ever wondered why some giant, successful companies just fizzle out, while others seem to constantly reinvent themselves and just keep winning? Well, today, we're diving deep into that question. It turns out the answer isn't just about strategy or tech, it's hidden in something we call culture. And we're about to crack the code.
I mean, just think about it for a second. Companies like Kodak or Nokia or Blockbuster, these places were full of smart, talented people. They weren't missing resources, but when the ground shifted under their feet, they just couldn't adapt. It's this massive puzzle that business leaders are still trying to figure out today.
And here's the real kicker, the central paradox. The very things that made a company great, its expert skills, its super efficient processes, can become the very chains that hold it back. What was once your greatest strength becomes a fatal flaw when the world changes around you.
So, if it's not simply about having a smarter strategy or the latest technology, what is it? Well, all the evidence points to something a bit fuzzier, but way more powerful. It's the organization's culture. The best way to think about it is like a computer's operating system. It's the invisible code running in the background that dictates how everyone thinks, how they behave, and ultimately, whether they innovate or not. So here's our game plan. We'll start with that innovation paradox. Then we'll deconstruct what culture really is. After that, we'll look at a research-backed blueprint for innovation and wrap it all up with some real, actionable insights for you and a final question to chew on. All right, first things first. What in the world is culture? It's a word that gets thrown around a lot, right? But to really get it, we need to peel it back like an onion, starting from the outside and working our way in. And for that, we're going to use a classic model from Edgar Schein. So on the very surface, you have artifacts. That's the stuff you can actually see and touch. Peel back that layer and you get to the norms. These are the unwritten rules of how people are expected to behave. And then right at the very core, you have the values, the fundamental beliefs that drive absolutely everything else. So artifacts, these are the easy ones. It's everything you can see, hear, and observe. We're talking about the office layout. Is it open plan or a maze of cubicles? It's the company rituals, like the big annual awards night. It's even the special jargon or acronyms that only employees would understand. These are all the visible clues. Now, we go a layer deeper to the norms. These are the powerful, unwritten rules. You won't find them in the employee handbook, but everybody just knows them. It's about whether it's okay to challenge your boss in a meeting or if everyone feels pressured to answer emails at 10 p.m. And for innovation, the key norms are about being genuinely open to new, maybe even crazy ideas and being flexible when you hit a roadblock. And finally, we hit the center of the onion, the values. These are the deep-seated, sometimes even unconscious beliefs that shape the norms and artifacts. If a company truly values something like customer obsession, that single value will dictate the norms for how employees behave and the artifacts they create. This is the source code for the entire cultural operating system. Okay, so this three-layer model, it makes a lot of sense, right? It's a great theory. But does it actually hold up in the real world? Like, is there any hard proof that this is how you build an innovative culture that actually leads to real results? Well, in 2014, a research team led by a guy named Hogan decided to find out. They basically set out to put Schein's model to the test. They wanted to see if they could create a scientifically validated blueprint that shows exactly how culture drives innovation and, makes a company more successful. And this is the causal chain they laid out. It's like a series of dominoes. It all starts with the organization's core values. Those values then shape the day-to-day behavioral norms. Those norms, in turn, create the visible artifacts. And all those layers together encourage real, innovative behaviors from people, which, at the end of the day, is what drives the company's bottom-line performance.
And here's what's really cool. The researchers got super specific. They didn't just talk about good values in a vague way. They pinpointed the exact ones that were consistently linked to innovation. Things like a real appetite for calculated risk-taking, making a big deal out of celebrating success, genuinely appreciating employees, giving people real responsibility, and making teamwork the default. These are the non-negotiable building blocks.
So, after they crunched all the data, they confirmed the whole chain works. The dominoes fall just like they predicted. But they also uncovered something absolutely critical. One link in that chain wasn't just important, it was the linchpin,
the one piece that made the entire system work.
And here it is, the big aha moment. What this fancy academic language is really saying is that you can have a poster on the wall that says, "We value risk-taking," but that's totally useless on its own. That value has to be translated into a daily, lived-out norm, like it's genuinely safe to try something new and fail here, for it to have any impact. The norms are the bridge that connects your abstract values to concrete, everyday actions. Without that bridge, your values are just empty words. Okay, so we have a proven blueprint. This is huge. But now for the most important part. How do we actually use it? Let's break down the practical takeaways for everybody in an organization, no matter what your job title is. Let's start at the grassroots. Culture isn't just some top-down directive from the CEO. Nope. It is built brick by the actions of every single person every single day. So for you as an individual employee, this is where the rubber meets the road. It's about your own actions. It's about being the person who's open to a new idea, not the one who shoots it down. It's about being flexible when a problem gets tricky, taking initiative instead of just waiting for instructions, and this one's huge, sharing what you know freely with your teammates. All right, let's talk to the managers out there. Now, if norms are the bridge, you guys are the engineers. You are the ones who build and maintain it. Your influence on the day-to-day environment is absolutely massive. If you're a manager, your number one job is to make the company's values feel real for your team. That means you gotta celebrate their wins, big and small. It means using those artifacts, like rituals and awards, to reinforce the right behaviors. It means you have to protect your people when a smart, calculated risk doesn't pan out. And most importantly, you have to walk the talk. You must model the exact behavior you want to see. And finally, let's zoom the camera all the way out to the entire organization. You cannot just hope for a culture of innovation to magically appear. The entire system has to be intentionally designed for it. At that highest level, it is all about intentional design. Your company's strategy has to scream innovation. Then, everything else, how you measure success, who you hire, how you onboard them, how you design teams for autonomy, every single one of those systems has to be perfectly aligned to support the innovative culture you're trying to build. So there you have it. We've gone from this perplexing paradox of why great companies fail all the way through a framework for culture and landed on a research-backed blueprint for building one that thrives. Let's wrap this up. And hey, if this stuff gets you excited and you want to keep digging into how to build amazing organizations, you can find a lot more deep dives and resources just like this one waiting for you. So I'll leave you with this final thought to take with you. Think about your own workplace. If its culture really is the operating system that determines what's possible, what's the one line of code you would change? What's the one value or the one norm that if you changed it would unlock the most innovation? Thanks for joining us.